Hey G fans, GojiFan93 here. Welcome back to the final part of the GigaBash story modes. This one will be the Thundatross character. So yeah, after this we will begin doing the arcade runs for all the characters. Still not really sure what I'm gonna do in terms of the like onslaught mode. I think for mayhem mode, I'm just gonna have some fun with that one, but not really sure what to do with onslaught because I don't want to go through every character doing that. But we'll see. We'll find out. Okay. Thundatross. This story mode I feel has the most heart in it. I didn't remember when I first played this story mode. I didn't remember how sort of deep this story was. About the boy and his I'm assuming father. I might have missed that or whatnot, but and then how the robot is, their project and the son taking over and using the robot. So, but it was, I don't know, like we'll see as the story progresses, but I feel like this one has the most amount of world building in the GigaBash universe, but it's also due to the fact that Gigaman actually plays a big role in this story too. So, which again, I totally forgot was a thing in this story mode. So, warning, hostile detected. For some reason, and I don't know why, I get Evangelion vibes with like the boy and then the robot and things. I don't know. I haven't even watched Evangelion, but for some reason, I don't know. But it's more of a Gundam inspired thing. But again, I'll say this character, I swear, the devs looked at Ultra V from War of the Monsters and they're like, let's have our version. Like, I swear, that's really what this character is. I kid you not. So, what's also cool is how this is sort of like the flashback. So, before Ultra V, see, I just call him Ultra V. Before Thundatross got his colors, I think that was pretty cool. His play style is not too bad. I like the sword swinging. It's very satisfying to swing the sword and do the combos at him. That is a nice feeling. That's his child, you idiot. You could probably predict that Dr. Reiner's not going to be a good guy. I would be very shocked if he was. That's the twist. I really don't know what I'm saying right now. So what's cool is that this part, we're obviously using what's cool about this part is we're crossing that story path with Gorogong. This is the part where he fought Thundatross at the beginning. I hear I'm trying to use Divine Blade right there. I was like, come on, do it. It just wasn't working for me. I think I said it in my Godzilla DLC for GigaBash, but what I love is how when the enemies, or like when the characters have low health, you can visibly see them fatigued. I thought that was such a cool attention to detail. And now here is Gigaman. You're Gigaman. He likes to point. That was one thing I noticed too while playing this. Is Thundatross points a lot. He's like, hey. I also like that line. I remember you to be a lot thinner. It's like, hey. It's an aging superhero. Kind of reminds me of The Incredibles. They were like past their prime and they all get fat. So one thing that would have been interesting here for like a side objective is if they did it whereas like take out Gorogong before Gigaman does. That would have been like a cool thing. So I'm trying to think, like, obviously GigaBash had a lot of parallel characters. So, Rawa, I feel, is the, supplement for Godzilla before Godzilla was in the game. And then you have Gigaman, which is obviously a Ultraman, step in. And Thundatross is like what I would like to consider, Gundam sort of mech character. But I'm thinking of the other characters, like, I don't really know what Hippogyris would be, or the, you know, oh, I guess I said like the plant Roana, you know, she could be probably the stand-in for Biolante in a way. I don't really, the snail guy, Skoronk, I think I'm having trouble memorizing their names, but I don't, he's not a stand-in for, he's just a unique looking character. Then of course you have Concrete, which is the building character, which that's just a funny character. Obviously the main boss, Zavia, that's just its own unique thing too. But it is funny how some of the characters are, you know, stand-ins for the characters that probably inspired them. What's interesting though is there's not a Kong inspired character. That's what's interesting to me. You'd think that there would have been some type of, you know, ape character, because even Rampage did that. You know, Rampage had George, so it's interesting that they didn't really have something like that, which makes me wonder if, you know, if GigaBash keeps on doing DLC, you know, are they going to have King Kong eventually? Like, will they be able to get the license to that? And I'm also curious because King Kong's sort of a tricky situation in terms of like licensing and copyright, I feel, because right now, like Warner Brothers with the MonsterVerse, you know, it's just Kong. You know, there supposedly there's something with the legalization of the character that, or the rights, that Universal holds the rights to the King Kong name, the trademark, but I guess Warner Brothers and Legendary for the MonsterVerse, they were only able to do Kong. So like there was a weird, I don't know, someone can correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I guess they just can't call him King Kong. So I'm curious if GigaBash was ever to try to get the Kong character, you know, would they have to go through like Universal to get the rights for King Kong, or would it be maybe, you know, Universal with Legendary or Warner Brothers for the MonsterVerse version of King Kong, where, you know, where they would just maybe call him Kong? I don't really know. That would probably be a really tricky thing. I can't imagine the headache it takes getting these characters in this game. I mean, like Godzilla and Ultraman, I mean, you're going up against two of the most tightly copywritten gripped companies, Toho and Tsuburaya Productions. So like, I can't imagine how hard it was in terms to get those characters, and how many restrictions they probably had too, with those characters as well. My guess for the next DLC, if it's not another Godzilla pack or Ultraman pack, because I do feel like it'd be easier for them to do another pack of those characters since they already have an established relationship now with Toho and Tsuburaya. But I'm wondering, you know, if it comes to a different character, I'm really thinking Gamera would be the next. I feel like that would be the next logical step, is to get some of the characters from the Gamera series. Because think about it, then you'd have a game that would have Godzilla, Ultraman, and Gamera in it. Like that would be nuts. And of course it'd be super easy for, like, I mean, you'd obviously, you know, you'd have Gamera, you could have, I would obviously, Gauss would be a character, and I'm thinking you'd have to pick, you know, maybe like one more Showa character and then one of the Heisei characters. So probably Gauss, then maybe I would say Iris would be, you know, another pick that I would do, but maybe like Guron, you know, maybe Guron would be a new, because I can see Guron having a cool or like a cool move set. Oh, and by the way, I'm totally ignoring the big twist going on here that we totally didn't see coming, that Dr. Reiner is the bad guy. But anyways, as I was saying, I think those would be the characters that they would pick just based on moveset possibilities. That's, you know, that's just my thing. But I really think Gamera would be the next logical step for GigaBash in terms of doing another DLC pack. If it's not, again, like I said, if it's not another Godzilla pack or Ultraman, which, again, I wouldn't have a problem with. If they did another Godzilla or Ultraman, I think that'd be great. But I think in order to sort of, it's kind of a balancing act. Like, you don't want to have too many characters from one license, I feel. You know, like if you had another Godzilla pack, then now you have 8 Godzilla characters, and then only 4 Ultraman characters, and then I don't know the number of the GigaBash original characters, but you know, you got to sort of keep it, you know, I guess balanced. Because I feel like as much as the GigaBash team loves having the DLC characters, I kind of understand that they might also, you know, they want their own characters to stand out too. I feel like, you know, they want to make sure that their original monsters are also, you know, looked at and have attention towards. So I kind of understand that if they, you know, maybe they might not do another DLC pack, or if they do, it'll be their own, it'll be new monsters, you know, new original GigaBash characters, which, you know, I said it before, I think in one of the other videos that I wouldn't mind that either. You know, I think it'd be great for GigaBash to add some new original GigaBash monsters to the fray. But I mean, there's so much. Oh my god! I mean, there's so much possibilities. They could also dip into the Pacific Rim characters. I mean, you could, gosh, I mean, Cloverfield monster you could do. I mean, you could even do some crazy ones like Gorgo, or, you know, some of the really obscure kaiju that are out there. You know, but I mean, there's pros and cons to having so many different licenses in one game, you know, because then you're setting yourself up for expectations, and you know, it could get really messy, I think, if you start to have so many different licensed characters in it. Because yes, if you really are going to try and be like Super Smash Bros, right, like the ultimate crossover, I feel like you really got to know what you're doing, I feel. Yeah, that's just me though. Oh yeah, the other thing I know. So when I finished recording this, or like I think it was like while I was playing, I noticed the textures on the characters when the camera's like close in on them, the textures are blurry. And I was like, I don't remember the game looking blurry like that. It wasn't until after I finished doing the story mode that I realized I had the settings on the textures low. And I was like, damn it. So it won't look like that when I do the arcade ones, but for these missions, I was like, damn, I totally missed that. Yeah. Oh no, sneak attack. But yeah, this is what was cool, is how Gigaman sort of is your partner through this campaign, which I really liked. Because I don't know, just between the two of them talking, and then it sort of fleshed out the story, trying to get his father back by going into the Hollow Earth and rescuing him. It was really cool. Like, I liked how the story mode, I mean, again, this one had like the most depth to it, I feel, in terms of plot, you know? It was just cool, like teaming up with Gigaman and fighting the enemies. So what would have been even cooler though, I feel, is if you could have swapped, like, you know, maybe I want to play as Gigaman for this mission, and then you could like swap between the characters. That would have been pretty cool. But I still want to know why there wasn't story modes for the other characters, you know? I really don't know why. I feel like they could have. Again, I understand that it takes time and resources to create these story modes, but they're so short, you know? They're little bite-sized things. It's not like you have to make this giant thing. Or you go the route of, like, I don't know, the NetherRealm Mortal Kombat games, and you just do one big campaign that then throughout that campaign you get to play as all the different characters throughout it, you know? And again, maybe keeping that same idea where you can swap between characters depending on what the scenario is during the plot. Like, you know, that'd be kind of cool. But you know, it is what it is. Again, maybe later DLC they'll add more story modes for characters. Who knows? I mean, that'd be cool. But as far as we know right now, I don't think that's really going to be happening. And currently, I don't know if the GigaBash team has any future plans. You know, I mean, they just released the Ultraman DLC, so I don't know, you know, who knows. I mean, I think it was after the Godzilla DLC came out, they were pretty quiet for a while, and then all of a sudden they said, hey, some rumblings are going on, and then that's when the Ultraman DLC was announced. So, but that was like a whole year later, so it'll probably be another year until we get something like substantial from this team in terms of like updates. But I'm pretty sure that they want to keep on updating it. I'm sure they want to keep on adding things to this game. Because why not? You know, it's a great platform. You know, it's a great start like point. They don't need to make like a GigaBash 2. You know, I really don't think that's needed right now. You know, maybe in like a few years, maybe it would be appropriate to do a sequel, but I mean, for right now, I don't think they need to, you know. As long as if they can add more story modes, add some more stages, obviously, but I mean, if they just keep on adding stuff, I don't see a reason that they have to make a whole-blown sequel. Unless they want to add some radically different mechanics, which sure, that would then lend itself to needing, you know, a whole-blown sequel. But again, for right now, I think GigaBash is in a good spot. You know. And then it would be tricky though, because, you know, if they made a GigaBash 2, obviously you wouldn't be able to transfer the Godzilla DLC or the Ultraman DLC, because I'm pretty sure those DLCs, I heard that those DLCs are actually going to be, you know, they're going to expire. The license will expire eventually, which is really sad. But it means that, you know, if you don't buy the Godzilla DLC or the Ultraman DLC before it expires, then it'll be gone forever. So it's kind of weird. I don't know. But again, it's just those licensing agreements. It's crazy. Which is why I think the GigaBash team should invest in making DLC that's original for them, so that they don't have to worry about expiring DLC. That's just me, you know. Make some more original kaiju, add some stages, add more story modes to add to the longevity of the game. I feel like that would really help it tremendously. So this part was pretty cool. I like how this whole part is so climactic, you know? Yeah. Who you calling expired? What I love is how it's just so cheesy. It's so cheesy, so tropey, but it fits the game so perfectly. Also, I'm pretty sure that's a color skin for Thundatross, the black and red, which is very clever. I'm pretty sure that's a skin color that you can choose in the multiplayer mode. Grr, you're crazy. Then I'll just take your suit by force. Like, also the music in this area is so cool. I love the music in this level. Because again, it's very climactic sounding. Yeah, it's really nice. Yeah, through playing, you know, through playing this game again, I'm really learning to appreciate it a lot more. You know, again, I rewatched my first impressions video during my Seen It, Heard It, Played It, Read It video that I did back on the Cuypers Productions channel, and it's crazy how negative I was on the game. Like I was so amazed at how disappointed I was that it fogged my whole view on the game, and I wasn't really focusing on what the game provided itself. I was more looking at the fact that it didn't meet up to my expectations of being like the next Atari Pipeworks game, you know? But now that I've played it, obviously, and I'm playing through the story mode again, and I'm playing through more characters and playing arcade modes, and they added the mayhem mode and stuff, like it's a lot. It is more entertaining for sure. But again, this is, and what's crazy about this is full in-game cutscenes here. Like, for this whole last part, they barely use those art still images for the cutscenes. It's crazy the production that went into this final boss. Like, it's crazy. If they can just expand on doing more of this, it would be so great. I would love it. Things are going to get real tough. He's one big son bitch. Yeah, I can't imagine how difficult this part would be. Like, if I played it on hard mode, I could not imagine. This conflict is meaningless. I would have liked if they had voice acting for these parts. I feel like it would have added a little bit more to it, but I get it. I get it. Again, it was probably for budget reasons. I like how the ground is a little higher. You kind of see his fist through the ground there. Okay, this is really funny here. he like, okay, I'm gonna do like an Ultraman move. Forget it. I love how he's like, he's doing like the Power Ranger thing, and then he's like, you know what, whatever. I'll just do this. You know what would have been hilarious if they called it Operation Overdrive? Because isn't that, well, one, that'd be a Power Ranger reference for that season, but wouldn't it also, wasn't there a mech game called Override? It was like another kaiju game or something like that. I swear it was like called Override or something. I'm trying to look it up right now, actually. Override Mech City Brawl, that's what it was called, yeah. Yeah, that game. That might be a game I want to play too again. I played the first one a long time ago. I think that one also, yeah, that one also had an Ultraman DLC added to it. But yeah, that would have been cool if they were like, it's gonna be a Override Mech Brawl. Been like a little wink to that game series. Look at me just wrecking him. Well, okay, after he does that attack. It's also the longest story mode, by the way. Like, Gorogong's story is, I think, the shortest. It's like only maybe 15-ish minutes, 15 to 20. And this is like a good old 30 to 40 minutes, depending on how fast you complete it. Again, had like the most amount of production put into this story for some reason. Hacha! This is pretty cool. Like, he slices him in half. Yeah, it's pretty nice. Pretty nice. For a second, I thought the bad guy was dead. I was like, oh wow, did they just like kill him off? But then his hand appears. Are they trying to set up a sequel? I don't know. Maybe. A few weeks later. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of Thundatross's story mode. Alright, guys. That does it for that. So that has concluded our just pausing the video. That concludes the story mode run for GigaBash. So yeah, so next up I will be tackling the arcade mode with every character, and that'll be like the sort of normal Let's Play style, and then we'll go from there. But that's it from me, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, stay big G fans.